Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is part 24B, where we are making a grill. Last time we did a lot of work making the knob, the grill. Now we're going to do a little bit of testing, but before we do that we need to add the input to our character. So open up your character and do a search for IA underscore scroll, and if you've been following along you should have this here, like so. And I'm just going to do the same on my other one, just to full check what I've done. And give me a moment. Right, okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to, from here, we're going to look at our triggered. We've only got more, but we're going to use that triggered. We're going to first of all say is using actually for now we don't need to do that, but we can just bypass that for a second. We can just go to event scroll, message. The IA scroll is not correct. So we have to go and change that in our inputs. IA scroll. Saying it's a ball here. I think it should be a, I can't remember now what I set it at. Oh, an axis 1D. Okay. Make sure to change that to an axis 1D. See, now we've got the axle value. We can connect that to here. And the axis is going to be the hit axis. So off camera, I just extended this a bit and placed our grill on here. So let's try. So what we're hoping for is the scroll wheel to move and the lights to come on. So scroll wheel's not moving. And the lights are not coming on. Oh, scroll wheel did move. The lights didn't come on. Okay. I'm not sure why that is. So let's have a look in our knob to start with. The rotation's working. Set grill. We didn't complete that. I remember I did say that we needed to go back to that, and I totally forgot, or we will get a bit short of time. So as BP grill, we are going to say stove temp, like so, and it's going to be current value, like so. Not sure how. Let me just check. Yes, we did do that, I believe. We cast to the grill. Okay. So let's try that again. Now we should have something. So the grill scroll wheel is scrolling and the lights are coming on. Okay. So whichever colour lights, the lights are coming on. So we know that part is now working as it should. Lovely. Okay, so the next part involves making up some actors to put on the grill, i.e. burgers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import some meshes and I'll make up some data assets like we've done before, then I'll go over them and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so what I've done is I've imported a few meshes. I'll just show you what they are. The burger we already had from the last one. Let's say burger. I've got the burger pack and I've duplicated the burger and called one cooked. I've imported these meshes which we had last time, and I've also imported this one burger label. Burger pack is set as M-burger for the raw burger, cross white, and the burger label for the top. I know it's not perfect, but it's good enough for what we're doing here. Okay. So the biggest part of this, the way this is going to work, is actually in the material itself. And I can find it. Okay, so I made up one here called M-burger, and we're going to change that. I made it a very simple one. We're going to change this. Okay, we're going to use those, so leave them there. First thing we could do is get a texture coordinate. And what I did with this is I tiled it a little bit. I did 3 and 3. Okay. And I put that into this texture, which is converted to a parameter. It's a parameter. And I just call this base texture. Texture. And I copy and pasted that. Also put that into here. And I call this cooked texture. And I've used this cooked patty texture. They're not the best textures, but what I could find at the time. So we've got those. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this material to basically cook the burger, change it from one state to another. So let's get going. I'm a little bit slow with materials. They're not my strong point. It does take me a little time to work them out. So we're going to get a linear interpolate or lerp node. And we're going to lerp these two together. Let's just disconnect that for a minute. Okay, so we're lerping these two together. All right. The alpha is a parameter, so we hold down 1 on the keyboard. We'll join that into here. We're going to convert that to a parameter. We're going to say cooked So 0 would be 1, 1 would be cooked. I could show you that now. If we connect that to there, at 0, if I change it to 1, you see it goes to cooked. Okay. One thing we can do also is copy this and paste it, because we need it for our normal as well. Put down that way. Okay, so that's changed it to cook state. Now, if you're happy with that, you're not going to have burnt into your game and stuff like that, then you can stop here and it will work just as well. You just have to adjust your code a little bit accordingly. However, if you want it to become burnt, then follow this on. So we're going to change this to a mask texture because we need the opacity. Oh, we don't actually, but we need it to be masked. And there's probably better ways and more efficient ways of doing this, but this is the best I could do. So we're going to get another lerp. We're going to lerp that into there. We're going to hold down 3. Yep, hold down 3. We're going to get no, we're going to keep it on black. We're going to lerp it to there. Now we're going to work out the alpha. Okay, the alpha here is a little bit complex. So we're going to need a few vectors, so a few constants. So hold down 1 a couple of times, like so. This one here we can set at 0.5. This one here we convert to a parameter and we say burn amount. Okay, we're going to set this to 1 because this, and I don't really know how to solve it, but this goes from a very small amount like 1 to 1.12. 1 is normal, 1.12. I'll show you as we go along. We come out here and we get a noise. And we put that 0.5 into the filter width there. We then get a mask, component mask, and you only want the red, so turn off the green. So you should just have an R on it here like so. We then get a something called a smooth step. So if any of you are good at materials and you find a way that's more effective than what I've done, let me know. I'm always happy to learn. Then we have two more parameters. We convert that to parameter. And this is burn range start, which we don't really change too much, but that goes in the min, and I'll set that to 0.2. And this one, virtual parameter also. And this is burn range end. I set that to 0.6. And that goes into the min. And then we take this and we plug this into the alpha of that. And that is the material. And I'll show you that if we, looking at our burger here, is cooked. If we get the burn amount, and what we can do is we can do cider max is 1.12, cider min is 1. Okay, so by doing that, then we can't go over the top. But if we go there like that, you can see it gets darker. 111, 112, so on and so forth. The other thing I did do is take off the specular, put that down to 0. And I put the roughness up to 1. That's what I found looked nice for me. Or looked okay, I wouldn't say nice. and the rest we can leave as is. So we're going to apply that, and we can go ahead now and we can have a burger patty, a burger patty cooked. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a material instance of that. We're going to call it mburger raw, and another instance mburger cooked. So then, before we do that, we need to go into our material and set this default value back to 0. We want it to start off raw. So the raw one we don't do anything with. The cooked one we do. We go into here and we're going to go cook state and just change it to 1. And that's fine for that. Now we go into our cooked burger patty and we set the material to be the cooked one. Okay. And I believe that's all we do for the material for the minute. Just double checking on the meshes. Yes. In fact, you could possibly not have the raw instance. You could delete that. Just delete the raw. And someone's using it, but I don't know what. I'm going to set my whole world to be that same color, maybe. Who knows with me? Okay, so while we're waiting for that, can't do anything. I'm just going to pause for a second until that's done its thing. It looks like it's going to take a while. Okay, it's finally decided to do what it's going to do. We've got that there. Make sure we save everything. I've got 13 unsaved items here, so I don't like that. So let's save everything. And we've got our burger here. So what we need to do is we need to make up some blueprints. I'm just checking on my other one. Yep, we do. We have to make up a blueprint. So we go to game items, ingredient, and we make a new blueprint class. It's BPP ingredients. Ingredients is the parent class. I'm going to call it BP underscore burger patty. If that's how we spell patty, not sure. Okay, so what I also did off camera, which I forgot to say, I made up some data assets. Okay. Items data food. I made up raw burger, cooked burger. Okay. They're pretty well the same. The only difference is it's a static mess. That's the only difference. for the cooked burger, and in the raw burger, we've set the cooked data asset to be the cooked burger data asset. Okay. So we've made that up. Now in the blueprint, do we need to add a blueprint? Do we need to add one? Like some actor plus. Let me just double check what I've got. So this is cooked burger. Yeah. This is a cooked burger. So we're going to use our burger patty here. Save that. Yep, it's the same for both. So we set the same actor for both. And also in your ingredient type, the enum, I added in a few more: whole bun, bun top, bun bottom, burger patty. Okay, that's in the enum ingredient names here. Okay, so that's all I did off camera at the moment. I'm going to close all these unwanted windows. Okay, too many of them. Leave the grill open because I'm not sure whether we need to do some more work on that one. Go back to the burger patty. Name item, ingredient, burger patty. So this is going to be our DA underscore raw burger. Okay. The box, let's zoom in. The box here, I changed the size of to 10, 10, and 3. Like so. And I moved it up just a little bit like so, to be about central. What did I set it at on here? It's about half, so it should be 1.5. Excuse me, I'm a little bit of a frog in the throat. Okay, so we have a few items to do. So we've got cook time. So we're going to have some variables. We've got cook time. Oh yes, that was something we did. I'll go and show you that actually. Open up that again. In the cook time, I put 10 just for testing, but in the game, I'd probably set it to around 30 because that is needed. So cook time is a float. And temperature or temp, and that's going to be our E underscore temp that we did last time, and is cooking, and that's going to be a bool, and I'm going to hit the wrong button here. Time cooking, the float. We can duplicate that and call it new cook time. Another one called timer, and that's a timer handle. Timer handle. And three more. Burn time. The float. Now at this point, we probably won't get around to this bit today. We're going to call it widget. And we're just going to set that to use a widget for now, but we will change it later. So we've got it here ready. And the other one is max burn. And that's a float. So let's start with some functions now. In fact, okay, the important one is on the temp one. Go over to the side here. To replication, you say rep notify. You see it will make on rep temp. You can't change the name of it, or you shouldn't change the name of it. Leave it as it is. Because basically, whenever this changes, it will fire this function. And the next one is calculate cooking time. And another one called calculate and set progress bar, like so. And in here we also add a widget here, so we're going to add that. Okay, why did it call it widget 1? Don't already have a widget in here. Oh, because I've so that's we name it widget. Call it cooking widget. We can name it back to widget, which is what I prefer. Okay, so we've got that. So let's look at the on rep temp. So on rep temp is simply going to call calculate cooking time. Okay. Calculate cooking time. No inputs, no outputs. But we get our temperature. We do a switch. We get our is cooking in the off, and we set that to null. We get our timer. We set clear, and we validate timer by handle, like so. And we get our widget, and we set visibility. I know we don't have the widget yet, but we will get there. Bear with. So that's if we're off. Now what I've done is basically how you do it is how you want to do it. I've just used the different temperatures as a multiplier of the cooking time. So the lower the heat, the longer it takes to cook. I did this so that it's a bit of a fun thing you can have in the game, so that if you're doing a lot of cooking and a lot of other things at the same time, you've got a big order you're trying to do, but you want to get burgers on, cooking, they take longer, gives you more time to do stuff. If you don't want to do it this way, then up to you. We're going to add a local variable, we're going to call it L multiplier. Okay. We're going to drag that in and we're going to set it on these three. It's a bit hard coded, but you could add stuff to your data assets and do stuff like that, but not a lot of point really. So I've done 3 for the first, for when you're on low, 2 for medium, and 1 for high. So basically, whatever the cook time we put in here is multiplied. So in case 10, if it's on high, it would be 10 seconds. If it's on low, 20. If it's on medium, 20. If it's on low, 30. So whatever you put on here, it will be changed or multiplied by this. Okay, then we bring in our new cook time, set it here, and we set it to the cook time which we've got up here, multiplied by this local multiplier. Okay. So then we set its cooking because it's greater than, it's not off. We get our timer and we check if it is active. So is timer active by handle? If it's active, we want to do something with it. Okay. And we're going to get this. Oh. Copy, paste. If it's true, we're going to make sure the visibility of this is true. We want to be seeing it. And if it's false, we want to be saying, so we want to get a reference to self. And we want to say, it's cooking. And we want the reference, so if it doesn't show up, click on there and make sure you get the message. Reference, message. And we set is cooking true. And I'm not sure whether we've got that set up. Let's check that. So we're going to set the is cooking like so. We'll override that. And more interfaces that I have forgotten. I think that's all. So the next one, calculate the progress bar. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that because we need to actually have the widget sort of. Let me check the time. Okay, 35 minutes. Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead. We're going to go ahead and make the widget. So let's go to our UI. We're going to create a new user widget. and I called it, and I'm going to go through this fairly quick because I don't want to waste too much time on it. What did I call it? What I've done with it. 1 second. Right, so I called it WC. Okay. WGT underscore booking progress. Open that up, and I am going to copy and paste everything in it, and then I'll go through it for you. So copy, paste, like so. I'm going to put desired on the screen. So basically, it has amount cooked. It's just a little widget that's going to pop up. We have a progress bar. We have a percentage, and that's all we have in here. They design it how you feel fit. The sizes I made this, which people are interested in, is 200 by 50. Again, adjust it how you want. This is not a variable. Obviously, the progress bar is. I've just set it to white color for the fill color. But again, up to you. This one is a variable, and the last one isn't. So you have a horizontal box for the progress bar and 2 text boxes. So let's go to the graph. In the graph, I've made one function, and it's called update progress. Now what I wanted to do is I want the bar to change color for your progress, so I do a few calculations. So the input has 1, and we're going to call it percent or float. First thing we're going to do is take the percent, we're going to multiply it by 100. This gives us a true percentage from the calculation that we're putting into it. We're going to promote that to a local variable and call it L%. Okay, that's step 1. We're going to get our progress bar. And we're going to say set percent on our progress bar. And we're going to set it to the percentage that we got in this one here. We're going to say percent. Okay, not the local one. A little bit down. We're going to say if this is less than 0.9 or 90%, into a branch. And we're going to do another branch. And we're going to say if this is less than 1.1, okay, so going to get our progress bar off the true here. We're going to say set fill color and opacity, and I set it to sort of yellowy color. We're going to copy and paste this one 2 more times. Make sure you bring your focus bar in for your target. What Unreal will complain. For the middle one, I've set it to fairly dark screen. And for the last one, I've set it to plain red. So we burnt it, so it's yuck. And then I'm going to get the text box percent here. Put this all there, and from here I'm going to say set text, like so. And the in-text for this is going to be the local variable L% that we calculated at the beginning. And we're going to say text. Now I've chosen to have 0 fractional digits, okay? Just because I didn't want to point something of a percent, but again, up to you. And that's what we do in that one there. So we have that widget now. Should all compiled, it has. We can go back to our burger patty in our widget here. Scroll down to find somewhere, no, I never find it. Okay, so it's down here. Widget class, and we say cooking progress. Now, let me just check what I did for sizes and everything else for this. So the space is screen. That way you can see it wherever you are, so you can look around and see it. It'll always be facing the camera. I did the cook size, the actual size, 200 by 50. Pivot, everything else is the same. Left goes the same. Did I scale it? Yes, I did. I scaled it down to 0.1. And I gave it a position, location of basically 0, 0, and 16. So it just brings it above here. You don't see it because I've put it in screen space. If you want to see it to review it here, you can go down world and you'll see it here to get the idea of his size. Okay, but you need it set for screen from the game. Now we've done that, we can go onto our calculate and set progress bar. So we get time cooking, we get new cook time. We divide time cooking by new cook time. So we divide the small by the long, the big, and it will give us a value between 0 and 1, which is what we need for the percentage. Is this greater than equal? Advance. It doesn't start very well when you're dragging it. We're going to look for the I'm just going to make sure this is not already in there. Yes, it is. So dragon has been cooked. Let's set that. I'll make sure I haven't doubled up on anything. Doesn't appear to. Well, this is empty on here, but not worry about that now. So we set has been cooked to true here. Copy and paste it. We set it to false here. Value in here we want to do is 0.9, which is the top end of the green. Now we need to, in the event graph, we've got a lot to do yet. It's in the event graph. One of the first thing we need to do, so let's get the begin play sorted first. So we get our ASDA green ingredient. Up here. We get cook time. And we set our cook time here. Why can't I find it? Yeah. Okay. Reason we don't just act directly on that, because we act it on the data asset, it actually changes all data assets that are derived from that. So you don't want to be doing that. You just want to be using that as our starting point. You shouldn't write to a data asset at all if you can avoid it. We're going to get this, we're going to divide it by 100. And we're going to multiply it by 25. So that gives us our max burn cutoff point. Basically, it will stop cooking at that point. You can change this to whatever you want. And we don't have a max burn, do we? Did I miss someone? Oh yes, we do have max burn. Thought I'd done it. So we set our max burn to that. So we get our mesh. We create a dynamic material instance. This is the material one, not the decor one. The source material is your burger. Make sure you choose the burger, not the instance. Promote that to a variable. We'll call that material instance. Grab our widget. We set its visibility. Set it to non-visible at first. And we get our widget again. And now we've made that widget, we can go in here where we've got user widget here, and we can change this to cooking progress widget there. Okay. You cast, so you have to get the user widget object. Get the user widget object. Then we have to cast to it. In progress, like so. Then we can set our cooking widget here. So we set all of that up at the begin play. And I believe we've done everything else in begin play. We haven't finished this function. Because we need to set that widget. So from our widget here, we just say update progress. Like so. And the percent comes from here. So just reroute. So in case you missed that percent comes from the result of the divide. Okay. So that's that done. So now we go into, worried about the time here, we're at 15 minutes already. Time flies when you have fun, doesn't it? Okay, this is going to have to be a little bit longer for us to finish this off, but let's see how we get on. So, okay. Vent set cooking temp. We're going to get our temperature here. Going up and up to nice easy. Vent is cooking. Which I can't seem to find. Set cooking temp. Cooking burn. Did I not make it? Okay, let's have a look in our interface. BPI ingredients is cooking. Why can't I find that in there? Maybe I already started pulling it out. Oh yeah, started filling it out here. Look. Idiot, right. Okay, so we do a branch here. If this is true, we say set timer by event. If you do your time is 0.1, make sure it's looping. We're going to, from here, create an event, create a matching event, and we call it cooking timer. Move that down out of the way. We get our handle. We set it here. We get our widget. And we set visibility to true. Because we're now starting to cook. We want to see it. On false, just give ourselves a little bit more room. We're getting a little bit crowded. All right. So on false, we basically take the timer, we say clear, and you validate timer by handle. We copy these. We set that to no. Bear with me 1 minute, I'll just turn my phone off.